All right, let's talk about something that I think affects every single one of us, that feeling of just being buried under an avalanche of information. Today, we're going to dive into a really cool system designed to help you not just deal with it, but actually master it.
You know that feeling, right? It's that sinking sensation. You read an amazing article, you have a brilliant idea, maybe in the shower, and then poof, when you actually need it, it's just gone. And that's not just frustrating, it's this huge invisible drag on what we're capable of.
Get this, 76 hours. That's how much time the average employee spends every year just looking for stuff they misplaced. That's basically your entire annual vacation spent just searching. It is a massive drain on our focus. But what if you could get all that time back? What if there was a way to stop that from happening?
So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the problem, this feeling of drowning in information. Then we'll introduce the solution, your second brain. We'll cover the superpowers it gives you, walk through the simple CODE method to build it, and finally, see how this whole thing can shift you from just being a consumer to a creator.
Okay, so let's start by really digging into that feeling of being completely overwhelmed. It's not just in your imagination. There's a real name for it, information exhaustion. And it has this quiet hidden cost that affects the quality of our work, our creativity, and honestly, our sanity.
So this slide really paints a picture of two completely different realities. On one side, you had that anxious, scattered, reactive day. You're just constantly putting out fires, totally overwhelmed by everyone else's agenda. But on the other side, you're prepared, you're focused, you're creative. You're the one guiding the conversation. The difference is having a system.
So how do we get from that chaos to a sense of clarity? Well, the bridge between those two worlds is this really powerful idea called a second brain.
So what is a second brain anyway? Well, put simply, it's your own personal digital archive for all your best ideas. It's one trusted place where you can put everything that matters. Notes from a meeting, quotes from a book, those random sparks of genius, so you don't have to juggle it all in your head.
And this quote from David Allen just nails it. Our minds are idea generation machines, They're not storage lockers. When you try to use your brain as a filing cabinet, all it leads to is stress and mental clutter. A second brain lets you offload the job of remembering, which frees up your mind to do what it does best: create, connect, and just think.
And it's not just some boring set of digital folders. Think about it with these metaphors. It's like a modern version of a commonplace book where you collect bits of wisdom. It's a personal knowledge garden where you plant seeds of ideas and watch them grow. It's a creative studio that never, ever forgets a single thought you had. But look, this whole system is about way more than just getting organized. It actually expands what you're capable of. It unlocks these abilities that honestly feel like genuine superpowers for your mind.
Yeah, we're talking about 4 very distinct capabilities that can totally change the game for how you learn, how you innovate, and how you create. Let's take a look at what they are.
All right, let's break these down. First, making ideas concrete. When you write a thought down, it goes from being this fuzzy thing in your head to a solid building block you can actually work with. Second, revealing new connections. This is cool. You can mix ideas from totally different places, like shaking up Scrabble tiles to see what new words or insights appear. Third, you get to incubate your ideas over time. You let the big ones just simmer without any pressure. And finally, you get to sharpen your unique perspective by building up an arsenal of evidence that supports your way of thinking. And this is a huge mindset shift, you guys. It totally changes your relationship with time. Instead of only using your newest ideas, you can let things slow burn. Time stops being the enemy that makes you forget everything. It becomes your friend, helping your best ideas grow and connect with each other. So, you're probably thinking, okay, this sounds amazing, but how do I actually do it? Well, the answer is a really simple 4-step framework. It's called the CODE method.
It's an acronym, CODE. It stands for Capture, Organize, Distill, and Express. And it's basically a repeatable loop for moving information from the world around you into your own creative work.
It all kicks off with capture. And listen, the key here is not to save everything. You want to act more like a curator for your own mind. Just keep what really resonates with you. If an idea inspires you, or surprises you, or just feels useful, trust that gut feeling and save it.
Step 2 is organize, and this one involves a really critical paradigm shift. Don't organize like a librarian, filing things by topic. Think more like a chef in a kitchen, organizing ingredients for the meal you're cooking right now. That means you sort your notes into folders based on your current active projects. It makes them immediately ready for action.
The third step is Distill. The goal here is pretty simple. Make your notes easy for your future self to use. You know, that future you who's going to be super busy and won't have time to reread everything from scratch. So, highlight the best parts, write a quick summary at the top, find the essence.
And finally, express. This is the whole point of the system, really. A second brain is not for hoarding information, it's a launch pad for creating things. Because information only becomes real knowledge when you use it, when you apply it to build something, write something, or share something new with the world.
And that brings us to the final and I think the most profound shift that this entire system is designed to help you make.
I just love this quote from the author Tiago Forte because it gets right to the heart of the whole idea. This isn't about turning yourself into some hyper-efficient productivity robot. It's actually the exact opposite. By creating this organized, optimized system outside of yourself, you free up your actual mind to be more human, to be messy, to be curious, to just wander.
Ultimately, that's the transformation we're talking about. You go from being this passive consumer, just getting blasted by the information fire hose, to being an active creator, an architect of your own knowledge, who's ready to build things that actually matter.
So I'll leave you with this final, powerful question. Just imagine for a second. What if every great book you've ever read, every important lesson you've ever learned, every brilliant idea you've ever had was right there at your fingertips, ready to go? What would you build? What problem could you solve? Who could you become?